News, Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Oh, boy, I got one in studio with me already. Corey Johnson back with you on a Monday. Oh, boy, after that LSU loss over the weekend, social media, this coach reminds me of Les Miles. I'm not going to sit here and take up for Les Miles, but like it or not, statistically, Les Miles is the single greatest football coach in LSU history. And that's it, end of story. No, I love the folks in Louisiana, like Ogeron and Miles are like on equal footing or something. It's like Les Miles is like 2 or 3 wins away from being one of the greatest coaches in college football history, like 2 or 3 wins. 2 or 3 wins away from being one of the greatest coaches in college football history. Ed Ogeron was a head coach once, never a coordinator ever, because the head coaches that coached him didn't want him as coordinator, knew it that too much to handle. I love the 2019 team, lightning in a bottle, awesome. Joe Burrow, Brady, the whole crew. Are you kidding me? That's historic. That's great stuff. If you're an LSU fan, you're fired up about that. But if you want to dog Brian Kelly and you want to compare him to a winning coach at LSU, compare him to Ed Ogeron, who, I mean, the mistakes were unbelievable. In 2019 was about it. The few seasons before were underachieving, and the few seasons after were an absolute disgrace. Talk about checked out. No, don't compare Les Miles and Ed Ogeron. They're in two totally different stratospheres. It's not even close. Ed Ogeron is a defensive line coach, recruiting guy who got the dream job of his life and made the most of it in 2019 and then checked out and put back-to-back 500 seasons on the board and nearly wrecked the program. Thank God there's the transfer portal. I'll give Brian Kelly some credit for reviving almost a dead program. I mean, Ed Ogeron's like the blueprint on how to mess it up. It's hard to do what he did in those 2 years. But my point is, LSU fans, at least have your head screwed on right and know your football. Look at the total record. How many years Les Miles was coach? At least half that time, LSU was a national title contender year in, year out. The LSU-Alabama game was the most highly anticipated football game of the college season for about 5, 6, 7 years straight. Les Miles has a lot of quirks, a lot to be desired. Too conservative. We can go on and on and on. But don't compare Les Miles and Ed Ogeron, because it's not even a fair comparison. They're in 2 totally different stratospheres. You can't say both were LSU coaches, both won a national title, because if that's your comparison, they're equal to Nick Saban. And everybody knows Les Miles isn't equal to Nick Saban, and Ed Orgeron isn't anywhere near Nick Saban's stratosphere. No, Ed Orgeron simply is not a college head football coach. Otherwise, there'd been programs banging on his door year in, year out. Let's get the guy who can bring us a national championship. Instead, it's LSU. You could almost have a cinder block and you're expected to win a national championship at LSU. That's what's so disappointing about Brian Kelly. It's year 4. Forget about this team, the loss, the records. I'm still wondering when you're going to have offensive and defensive lines, 5 starters, 4 on D, and all these backup players that are as good as the starters, like 6, 7, 8 deep. So that's a big problem. No, social media blew up big time. And I was just shocked at all the Les Miles comparisons. Like for the average LSU fan in Louisiana, Coach O is still beloved, and Les Miles is this loser guy that we happen to have as coach. And it's mind-blowing to me. Mind-blowing to me. I mean, get over the Orgeron's one of us. He's from Louisiana. I don't give a crap about any of that. That's just gravy and lagniappe if all things are equal. They're not equal between Miles and Ed Orgeron. It's not even close. It's miles apart, and not less miles apart, more miles apart. One is a real college head coach with quirks and, too conservative, and all you do is run the ball, and you had a great quarterback in Mettenberger, throw it more. I get it. I'm not saying he's perfect. He's not Nick Saban. But don't compare him to Ed Orgeron, and don't compare, say, Brian Kelly's Les Miles. Say Brian Kelly's Ed Orgeron if you want to say something. I don't get it. Maybe Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latin X, does.
I could not disagree with you more, honestly.
Wow.
About everything you just said.
No, I know. You and a lot of fans. I might be in the minority.
And facts are facts. I mean, Brian Kelly has not accomplished anything. Say what you want about Les or Edo, but they both, and maybe I'm being too simplistic, but
they all won in year 4. This guy's floundering right now.
They both won championships. They both took over great situations. Ed took over a great situation from Les. Les took over a great situation from Nick Saban. They're both, they both took advantage and won championships. Even if you want to make the argument Brian Kelly did not take over a good situation from Edo, he's now had 4 years.
Oh, no, Brian Kelly didn't take over a good situation from Edo. I give him credit for reviving the program, but it's year 4.
Yeah,
and I'm wondering where the depth is on the O and D line, Mario Brothers.
The 4 losses last year and losing to Ole Miss yesterday has nothing to
do with
the last 2 seasons of Ed Orgeron.
There's nothing to do with that at all. That's like, you might as well blame Obama or George Bush for LSU's
And as far as Coach O being more similar to Les, I mean, Les had no success after LSU. He went to Kansas and was a total disaster, just like Coach O.
No, but he had success at Oklahoma State, though.
Yeah, okay, that you can make that point for sure. But just like Coach O fizzled out and was in a really bad spot, Les fizzled out and, had a very bad ending to his career.
Well, because of off-the-field stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, he was probably reviving Kansas somewhat. I don't know if he would have got – I don't know if he'd have Kansas playing, championship football or anything. But I think he was reviving that program better than – they were a doormat forever. But no, he never got it over the hump, and the off-the-field crap at LSU with the, sexual crap got him canned at Kansas. But I don't think you can say they both floundered for football reasons.
Either way, I remember both of them fondly, and Brian Kelly is just not – they both had a bad ending, but they at least had a good beginning. Brian Kelly has had none of that.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, one of us, not one of us, Cajun, whatever.
The not one of us thing starts becoming glaring when it's like if you like Coach O, like all things are equal because he's local. I get it. Yeah. Brian Kelly, when it's floundering, the opposite's true. That is glaring now. You're like, you're not one of us. You've never fit in with the culture. You're this outsider. Les Miles was an outsider.
Yeah.
So was Saban.
And Kelly's supposed to provide stability. Like the program was kind of volatile under Les and under Coach O. You had some bad teams. You had some great teams.
Exactly.
Kelly's only had like pretty good teams. He's never assembled a great team.
No, you're right. You're right.
Recruiting might be one of his shortcomings, honestly. Like Coach O has a lot of flaws. Les has a lot of flaws, but they just got better players on the team.
Oh, no, there's no doubt about that. I mean, that's what Saban could recruit his tail off, and Les Miles was a fantastic recruiter. And Coach O's known to be a recruiter. No, and Kelly, I think it's a little disappointing. I like the transfer portal. For a program like LSU, it should just be a supplemental thing. Plus, you can go pick the guys you want. They want to come. Even in today's NIL, You go get like a half dozen guys, maybe 10 players, and you supplement a couple of starting positions, 2 or 3, and then you supplement a few backup positions, and those 10 guys help you. Like 6 are contributing. They got like 29 or whatever through the portal, whatever it was.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I have to it's like you have a faulty roster. It's like, hey, Coach Kelly, why did you have to go to the portal so much this last year?
Yeah.
You had 3 years to build it through recruiting. I'm kind of perplexed. What have you been doing the last 3 years?
You may have seen it during the week, but they asked Lane Kiffin about LSU and kind of how the transfer portal has helped them. And he was like, LSU was already in good shape before all of this. Like, they don't have an in-state rival. They have a really good system of getting high school recruits.
Yep.
Now, like you said, the transfer portal has just supplemented it.
No,
more.
it should be. It should be. LSU should be like a Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State type roster.
Yeah.
And you're using the portal just to I lost a guy, left early. We lost a recruit in that year. We need a better left tackle, something like that, but not, I need to fill 7 positions. And that's what it's like. It's a lot of starters from the portal.
And if
second year in a row.
Exactly. And if you're making the comparison of O/Les Miles to Brian Kelly, O and Les had to compete against Nick Saban year in.
No. My comparison is folks complaining about Kelly and saying it's Les Miles too. It's like, Ogeron, use him as the example if you want.
No, man. But LSU, including myself, any LSU fans could have pushed back against it, because I saw a lot of people sticking up for Les, saying like Les's team's won. Les
could run the ball. Les won. No,
throat.
those are the normal fans.
Yeah.
Then you have the ones that like you are putting Ogeron and Miles in the same category, which is crazy.
That's where we disagree, but where we agree.
I don't know what you base it on though.
I guess that they both were really, really good in the beginning and just fizzled out in the end. And
how did Les Miles fizzle out at the end? I don't get it.
The last 2 seasons, he did terrible. They
didn't do terrible.
Yes, they lost their last 3 SEC games. I was there. They were
but what was their record the last 2 years? The last year they fired him was 2-2.
Well, no, the SEC.
Ogeron was 500 2 years in a row.
Yeah, but the end of 2015, they lost their last 3 SEC games.
And they were like probably 8 They probably were 8 wins. Probably that was probably the lowest win total in Miles' history. Was probably 8.
So doing the math in my head, he went 4-4 in his last SEC games.
No.
You're criticizing Coach O for going 500 the last 2 games.
Last 2 years.
Yes, Miles
averaged 10 wins a year.
Yes,
Mario.
but his last 8 SEC games, he was 500.
No, I'm with you. I'm not that isn't good. That isn't good. And he was 2-2 in that final year when they canned him.
We're splitting hairs comparing.
No, we're not. No, you're blinded by your love of Coach O.
I just gave you numbers.
I know. And I'm giving you you for one season in the SEC, and I'm saying they had 8 wins probably that year.
You're basing Coach O on the last 2 seasons. Before
right,
that,
where he's 500 and left with 37 scholarship players. I don't know how you can ignore that. You're just riding over it like, hey, Miles was 4-4 in his last 8 SEC games. Artificial turf custom golf putting green. Beautiful, functional, zero maintenance. Call New Orleans' own LGD Lawn and Landscapes and get your free estimate.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe. Some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab. Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spot. TM-AC.com, your cool spot.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com. Prepared with experience, depth, knowledge, and a history in the game. Corey Johnson.
Years later, a doctor will tell me that I have an IQ of 48.
I am the smartest man alive!
Wow. I love Mario's comments. We were talking during the break about LSU. I find it funny. The Brian Kelly, it's like Les Miles too. That's what some fans are saying. And my point is, if you're going to dog him, say he's Ed Ogeron too or something like that. I mean, Les Miles, historically speaking, the single greatest football coach in LSU history as far as wins. He's number one with winning percentage, bowl games every year, national title contention, half his seasons like national title contenders. Alabama, LSU, the most coveted game for years and years and years. Ed Ogeron had the 2019 team, which is incredible. Arguably the greatest college football team of all time. Miles' 2012 team was damn good. That was arguably even a better regular season, you could argue. But I'm this isn't about Brian Kelly comparing, Brian Kelly to Saban, Ogeron, or Miles. It's strictly Miles and Ogeron. And I think LSU fans, especially in Louisiana, Ed Ogeron is still beloved and Les Miles is not. And it's strictly because Ed Ogeron is one of us. He's a Cajun Louisiana boy, and that's it. I talk about a lot about what we want to believe, what we hope is true, and not what the facts show. Look at the records. It's not even close. It's not even close. Ed Ogeron had 40% of his seasons were 500. 40%. Two out of five were 500. Look at Les Miles's records. Ed Ogeron's great seasons were Les Miles's regular seasons. He averaged 10 wins a year. I just think LSU fans are a little skewed. Be pissed at Brian Kelly. You should be. Brian Kelly is a major problem right now and has underachieved at LSU. But before you compare him to Les Miles, compare him to Ed Ogeron first. You just jump over Ed Ogeron. Ed Ogeron and Les Miles as college football head coaches aren't even in the same category. It's not even close. Ed Ogeron's never been a coordinator before. An assistant coach and LSU's head coach. And that's it. Never a coordinator in his life because the college head coaches he worked for knew he's not built for that. I like Ed Ogeron. Like I like Les Miles. I don't love Les Miles. I don't love Ed Ogeron. I don't hate Ed Ogeron, and I don't hate Les Miles. I like them the same, like as far as like person or whatever. But as coaches, it's two totally different categories. One is a successful head football coach, Oklahoma State, LSU for 20 years. One was a head coach for 5 years, had hit lightning in a bottle in 2017, and we all love it. But I think the real Ed Ogeron popped up when you look at the small things and the big things. losing the team, not understanding today's players and what's important to them, like has no clue. Just old school, drive your head into a cinder block wall kind of mentality. And then those last 2 seasons where, honestly, I could have coached LSU, or you could have coached LSU better than the last 2 seasons of Ed Ogeron. Bad recruiting, no retainment of players. When he left, there were 37 scholarship players. McNeese State has 37 scholarship players, It's crazy. Crazy. No, love Ed Ogeron because he's local, but go with the facts, Tiger fans. I mean, you lived it. You lived it. 5 years versus what, like 12 of Miles? And just every year, like LSU, the talk of college football. LSU under Les Miles was the talk of college football for more years than Ed Ogeron coached LSU. Like 6 or 7 years. And like I said, that Alabama LSU game every year was coveted. And when I say Les Miles, I know some of you laugh, like 2 or 3 wins away from being one of the greatest coaches in college football history. Those 2 Zach Mettenberger years, was that, Mario, like 11 and 12 maybe? Those losses to Alabama. I mean, I'm not cutting Miles any slack. They lost. It was throw up in a bucket, nauseating type losses. Yeah. But you win those games and you're playing for national titles probably those years. And then I'm not trying to say the 21-zip loss to Alabama, hey, you win that. No, you got ripped that game. But I mean, not even considering hey, we're not going to play Jordan Jefferson, go with, was it Matt Flynn, I guess, back then, or,
but Les was really good at building programs.
Crazy.
Building the team year in, year out. I think ultimately I agree with your point. Les does not get his due respect in Louisiana.
Les should have a statue at LSU, and he probably never will.
Yeah.
And I think the sexual harassment stuff, I'm not trying to downplay that, Mario. I'm not trying to ignore women, but Les Miles did what he made out with the one girl in the car, tried to, I think, right?
Yeah.
I don't think there was anything else. Physical contact, was there?
For sure. And
you know what I mean? It's like we're talking, this is 2025. Les Miles didn't sleep with a bunch of co-eds. He didn't force workers to perform some kind of sexual activity with him or something, right?
Yeah.
What didn't he? And the thing about the girl in the car is pathetic, isn't it?
It was
like he tried to kiss the girl, and she's like, "Dude, get away from me, old man."
It was a very poorly kept secret. I think the statute of limitations kind of up by now, but I was on the student newspaper at the time, and it was kind of known, like his antics.
But it was antics. It was like crappy, in the office type stuff. Hire blondes, just stupid stuff.
Through all that, the program stayed solid. To your point, for a very, very long time,
which is amazing with all those goofy distractions, because
but
maybe that's why he made goofball mistakes on the field. But I agree with what you're saying, though. Forget about everything else. Forget about and Brian Kelly and all that. Les Miles does not get the respect he deserves from the majority of LSU fans. So almost the opposite, like want to forget about Miles.
For sure.
It's crazy. It's like, I don't know. I enjoyed those years most of the time.
I hear you.
Most of the time.
For sure. I guess I don't know. I've always defended Coach O because at first he did a really good job. Like from what Les Miles was doing when Coach O took over, he elevated the program right then and there. He could not maintain it the way Les did for a really long time. I'll give you that. But he still elevated it to that degree. Brian Kelly has never elevated it.
No, that's 100% right.
So I push against the Coach O comparisons and the Les Miles comparisons.
Brian Kelly fixed demolishing the program at the end, 39 scholarship players. He got it like stable again, and LSU was competing, and you could be prideful of LSU again.
Yeah.
But he didn't. All he did was get it back to like the 8, 9, 10 kind of win thing. Mm-hmm. Didn't take it up to where we want it, the 11, 12 win thing in playoffs. That's yet to happen. And unless he pretty much runs the table, maybe can afford one more tight loss. There's going to be no playoffs this year. And honestly, Mario Brothers, maybe I'm wrong, because I was saying, like, before this game, I was like, Ole Miss isn't going to be able to fix their defense. It's going to be suspect all year long. And it sort of is. But LSU, I think, can fix their offense. LSU's offense might be just like Ole Miss's defense. I mean, I think Ole Miss's defense is going to catch up to them later in the year. I don't think you can make them great. I mean, they'll get better maybe, but they just don't have enough athletes out there on D. But LSU has all the athletes, and they can't get it going on offense. There's no excuse.
Yeah, and I think you got to give Lane Kiffin a lot of credit for kind of evolving as a coach, because he, unlike Brian Kelly, has hired really good coordinators, and he does a good job delegating. Like their OC is Charlie Weiss Jr., son of Charlie Weiss Sr., old Notre Dame coach. And their defensive coordinator is Pete Golding from Hammond, who used to be Alabama's defensive coordinator under Saban.
You can't go wrong with
he's got
any
a lot
of
of
those guys.
experience
No.
coaching in the conference.
And he's got, I bet you, Mario Brothers, if you counted the NFL players and just like overall, college starter kind of star players, LSU has twice as many as Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Twice as many. And how about the trio of LSU transfers that all made significant plays in the game? Three guys that transferred from LSU to Ole Miss all made major plays to help Ole Miss. You could argue if you take those three guys out and their three plays, maybe Ole Miss doesn't win.
Yeah, the Logan Diggs one is wild, the running back, because he played for Kelly at Notre Dame and then again at LSU.
It's crazy.
And still transferred to Ole Miss.
No, I mean, those three guys made significant plays in that game that transferred.
Yeah.
No, it's just a sickening, what was it? 24-19 was the final?
Yeah, 24.
You lose by 5 and you had no offense at all.
No.
I mean, the defense, Mario, if the offense is working just a little, the defense, you can take a touchdown off the board for Ole Miss.
Exactly.
Like they're not getting that possession,
Yeah.
I mean, and LSU's demoralizing them. Oh, and they went 3 and out the first two off, and you score a couple of times, it's 10-0. Ole Miss might be out of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
They're starting to pressure themselves. Instead, they got relaxed. The QB started running it, and that too. I mean, hey, LSU, Blake Baker, number 7, make him a spy on the QB. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Or are you just going to continue to get thrashed by the quarterback all game long?
Yeah, there's a lot to critique from the defense for sure. But when you can't run the ball the way that LSU
No,
run
it's
the ball is so
it was just frustrating seeing that quarterback have so much success against the D.
Yeah, for sure.
All the running plays he had, it was just sickening.
And a lot of LSU fans and some LSU media were really cocky with that matchup, saying, "Oh, it's a D2 quarterback. He's never seen a defense like this."
Jim Fink says when you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. I mean, that guy wasn't playing well. The other QB was going to come in. I mean, missed opportunity. But yeah, we consider him point to the D. That's a waste of time. The offense is offensive. They're inept.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
And
with LSU.
the quality of college football is what it is now, with NIL and the transfer portal and all this.
Yeah, it evens things out a lot more.
Exactly. But you still see stories like that, like the Vanderbilt quarterback that was in New Mexico the year before. Like a lot of guys still get opportunities that otherwise wouldn't. And it's still cool story.
Look at Bo Nix from Auburn to Oregon.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm watching Bo Nix at Auburn. I'm going, here's another just kind of serviceable guy. He's a great athlete. He doesn't have the arm. He can't throw the out. He's not going to be a pro quarterback. And then he goes to Oregon. I'm like, everything I thought about this guy is wrong. And it starts killing it.
People improve, man.
Yeah, no. Change of environment, better coaching, better offense, whatever, maximizing their skill and talent. No, very disappointing if you're an LSU fan, Mario Brothers. That loss is, this is where the offense was supposed to get going. And yeah, I think it's safe to say that, Brian Kelly considering go Nussmeier's 100%. Nussmeier's not answering questions about it. He's not 100%. He's not 100%.
Not at all. And he's just making bad reads and stuff too. It's not even just all physical. He's just not playing well, injured or not.
Nope. And he just doesn't have the zip on the ball. I mean, those 2 deep balls both were short.
That too. But he threw the same interception he did against Florida, like just aimlessly into triple coverage.
No. And there's an open dude right underneath too.
That's what I'm
There's
saying.
an open guy crossing right. Here's a 10-yard completion and no one around him. And you're going to throw it 10 yards farther into a trio of defenders. Plus a fourth Ole Miss guy was right there.
So you can say the injuries affected his mentals or whatever. But
No.
These are things a 5th-year player should not do.
Should never do.
Yeah.
No.
And he's done it multiple times.
No, exactly. It's like throwing off the back foot against Florida. I mean, it's just, you can't be doing that. Corey Johnson with you. Yeah, you right. Every day, this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kennebra and Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Elmwood. Coming right back. Don't move. We haven't even gotten into the program yet.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Isn't it time to have that dream backyard you've always wanted? LGD Lawn and Landscapes can make it happen with artificial turf installation. Synthetic turf gives you the look and feel of natural grass. You get a beautiful lawn without the ongoing expenses of maintenance and no puddles, meaning you won't be tracking grass or dirt into the house. Let LGD come to your house and give you a free estimate. NOLALGD.com.
Hey, Marigny, Bywater, Treme, French Quarter, CBD, Warehouse District, Garden District, Irish Channel. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground, where New Orleans is heard.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you. Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latin X at the controls. You want to jump in on the LSU conversation? Feel free to do it on a Monday. Here's my show sheet, by the way, chock full of stuff. And none of it is LSU except for next hour. No, just that loss, Mario Brothers, obviously got me ticked off. Next, I'm going to start complaining about the purple and gold colors. Like, you know what I mean? Tiger Stadium has a crack in the concession stand over, I know, on the third level. I'm just like,
oh, man,
ticked off at that.
You're a proud LSU alum. The loss to Ole Miss just hurt your soul, man.
No, exactly.
It's not supposed to happen this much. They beat us in Oxford the last 3 times.
That's pathetic.
That's pretty unusual.
No, it's unacceptable.
Yeah.
It's unacceptable. And it's year 4. Mario, they go 4-0 LSU, and we'll be singing a different song in a month.
Yeah, it's only September 29th. Man.
No, it is. But 5 games in already.
Yeah.
It's insane. You're almost halfway through the season, and LSU's offense has not done anything yet. Nothing.
They got a bye week here. Maybe a little stew, and it'll get worse, or the team will come together. But it's good time.
Yeah, I guess that's the only thing we can hope for. Hey, a week from Saturday, something that really matters, mayoral election in New Orleans, a week from this Saturday. Everybody's spending money now. Lots of Helena Moreno commercials. Same with Oliver Thomas, Royce Duplessis. A week from Saturday, the mayoral election. Who are you voting for and why? I would imagine you folks in that 12 to 15% undecided, all that number is shrinking. 766-9480. Yeah, the undecided voters every day, every hour are figuring out who they're voting for. And a lot of them already know. Pretty much going to be voting for so-and-so, haven't fully decided yet, but they're pretty much voting for that person. They're gonna. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. Donald Trump hosting Netanyahu at the White House. The president and Netanyahu say they've worked out a peace agreement. All Hamas has to do is agree to their peace agreement. And if not, the United States will fully back Israel in wiping out Hamas in Gaza. J.D. Vance says the U.S. looking at selling Ukraine Tomahawk missiles, 1,500-mile reach, the massive Tomahawk missiles, just blow up some oil refineries and oil and gas infrastructure in Russia and speed up the end of this war. That's all you need to do. I know it's battlefield. You got to just basically defend your territory. Offensive weapons, go inside of Russia and blow up oil refineries and key oil pipelines, port infrastructure that's oil and gas related, and the war ends really quickly. The Russian people get pissed off, and all of a sudden, the impossible becomes possible. Like Putin stepping down, going to an island he owns in the Baltic, never to be seen again. Boy, drone footage of Smitty's supply. Have you seen this place? It's like a video game. Just charred, blown up Smitty's supply in Tangipahoa Parish. You know, I remember, that hurricane on August 29th, 20 years ago. When things are fine and things are, quote, normal, and they're not normal in New Orleans and Louisiana, we should have more of a sense of urgency. No one's really scrutinizing like a Ray Nagin or say like an Aaron Broussard. So you got Nagin and Broussard. Nagin, mayor of New Orleans, Broussard, president of Jefferson Parish. Big storm hits. Literally, if you remember, both of them had mental breakdowns. Literally, I mean, like medical textbook, medical breakdowns, mental breakdowns, literally. Both of them. Nagin was like, at the Hyatt Regency, hiding under pillows for like 3 days straight. And Aaron Broussard, who was wearing a toupee for years, is all of a sudden no toupee. And, mama was down in St. Bernard at the, called on Monday, come get me, called on Tuesday. On Friday, she drowned. Like that, not true. Just made up a story, was literally mentally losing it. So when things are fine, by the way, both these guys were found, indicted, found to participate in criminal activity while in office and went to jail, both of them. So when things are fine, especially in New Orleans and Louisiana, hey, Edwin Edwards, Bill Jefferson, Mark Mayoral, hey, they're all great, everything's cool. We continue to suffer, but there's no, what, hitting the fan like a hurricane. But when the what hits the fan, that's when real leadership is exposed. That's when we see what these people are for real. And what happened? Nagin and Broussard both embarrassingly fumbled and faltered and couldn't handle the pressure. It's like, do your friggin' job, man. It's pathetic. Just weak and pathetic. No excuse. None. Don't give me. We all went through Katrina. We all pulled ourselves up from our bootstraps and moved on. These people, they couldn't do their job like we did. They couldn't handle it. It's pathetic. We elect them to do it. A little bit of, what hits the fan, and they go into, hiding mode and mental breakdown mode. No, just pathetic. My point is, when things are good, hey, it's great. No problem. But when things that what hits the fan and we expose these folks, it's embarrassing. Well, you folks that don't think the EPA should stand for Environmental Protection Agency, it should have economy in there somewhere. Economy Protection Agency. No, it's the environmental, like the Department of Defense. I don't know about you. I want military people and generals running our Department of Defense, people that know what they're doing. For the EPA, I want environmentalists. I'm not talking about some tree huggers, talking about fair, objective scientists and environmentalists that do this professionally, running it, not people that trying to worry about the economy and that type of stuff. So when things are just kind of, moving along, it's easy to say things like, the EPA, we need to make it more business friendly. Louisiana, the Department of Environmental Quality. I remember Jeff Landry and that woman he hired who was forced to resign essentially because so many people were leaving because she was incompetent, didn't know what she was talking about. Her first comments were working with the business and being more business friendly. Seriously, this is Louisiana. If you think the Department of Environmental Quality in Louisiana isn't on the oil and gas and chemical industries team, like that, they work for them, not the other way around. They're not a regulatory agency. They work for the oil and gas and chemical industry. These people that run the oil and gas and chemical industry know one little meal at Ruth's Chris on College Drive. They own them, literally. They own these folks. They come that cheap. A steak and you're in. You're catching the bill? Yes, I'm with you. So the oil and gas industry in Louisiana pollutes all the time. They get away with it. They know when to, crank up the smokestack and when not to. The conditions are great. It's foggy. It's misty. It's high humidity. Let's go. Hey, it's foggy. It's misty. Don't do it. Whatever. They know when to do it. They get away with it. They know they're only going to get slapped on the wrist. They do not care. It's Louisiana. They own it. So Jeff Landry and his DEQ chief want you to think the opposite. Like Louisiana is too strict of a DEQ. It's not economy, oriented. It's not business, pro-business. It's restrictive. It's a joke. It's the opposite. The opposite. So you can say little flashy, snappy political, lines like we're going to, make the DEQ in Louisiana more business friendly. Donald Trump's doing it with the EPA. We don't need these people. Fire them. We don't need them looking at if people are polluting or not. We don't need these, restrictions that hurt business. The economy was going pretty good for like 10, 12 years, still is. I don't know how these, EPA things are hurting business. And then we have like the BP disaster in 2010, like 15 years ago, because we don't want to regulate BP. They don't want an accident any more than we do. But, there's money involved, so they might cut corners, and then you get this disaster. I don't want it over-regulated like Obama where, hey, we got to chill on deep water drilling because we're not sure if it's safe. No, it's safe. Just regulate it properly, and it's safe. So you don't have to go extreme and not regulate it. You don't have to go extreme and over-regulate it. So when you make the EPA weak during good times and everybody's like, yeah, EPA, we got to get the economy going. You got to think about business. And DEQ in Louisiana, got to worry about business and the economy. Don't worry about the environment. Everything's cool. You get a Smitty supply explosion and a crappy response. Like, we'll never know if Louisiana's DEQ wasn't doing their job unless some media outlet does serious investigation into it and discovers that they didn't do their job. And DEQ's poor performance in Louisiana led to this. But I would venture to say you can get away with it in Louisiana. We own the Department of Environmental Quality. The oil and gas and chemical industry probably helped this Smitty situation come to fruition, the fire and explosion. Didn't hinder it. Can't say it hindered it. Only can say it made it more possible. The weak DEQ in Louisiana becoming even weaker. Arguably a weak EPA in America becoming weaker. So now the you-know-what has hit the fan. Smitty supply, major explosion. Oil and gas and crap chemicals all over Tangipahoa Parish for miles around the explosion site. Waterways just bogged down with still. I mean, thank God these chemicals are lighter than water. Otherwise, they'd be on the bottom and we wouldn't even see them. Floating on the top, Tangipahoa River. Fish kills, wildlife exposed, all kind of farms exposed, vegetation. No, now a weak EPA and a weak DEQ is a major concern. It's funny how that works. I'll never forget in Mandeville, folks are literally wearing like a drill baby drill Sarah Palin t-shirt. And then they're talking about fracking in Mandeville. These folks become screaming liberal, tree-hugging environmentalists. Just rip that drill baby drill t-shirt off and wait. Not in my backyard. Somewhere else, it's fine, but you're not here. Could mess up the aquifer. They all of a sudden become like environmental liberal tree huggers. Crazy. No, it isn't about liberal or conservative or Republican or Democrat. It's about the environment and being stewards of it and acting humanely and having the economy still go. And that's the afterthought. EPA, environmental.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole-Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City. Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Artificial turf custom golf putting greens. Beautiful, functional, zero maintenance. Call New Orleans' own LGD Lawn and Landscapes and get your free estimate.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Prepared with experience, depth, knowledge, and a history in the game. Corey Johnson.
Years later, a doctor will tell me that I have an IQ of 48.
I am the smartest man alive!
Yeah, you right. Monday afternoon edition of the program, cranking it up. What'd I tell you, Mario Brothers, man? Thursday, Friday, I'm like, in 5 minutes, dude, it's going to be Monday. Comes quick. That weekend blew by. Seriously. I mean, 1 minute, I'm like 10:30 in the morning on Saturday. That's my favorite time of the week. Got a little workout in, sipping on a smoothie. I'm like, whole week's behind me. The weekend's still in its infancy stage. And then, boom, it's Sunday night. I'm like, what the hell? I was sipping on a smoothie 3 minutes ago, and now it's Sunday night. Crazy. Yeah. And then I tried to take on the English Turn golf course, and it took me on.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Well, the front side didn't go very well. I had like three doubles and lost 4 balls. You know, and those are Pro V1s. They're $4 a crack, and lost like 4. And like some of them, like 2 of them were first shot, brand new. You know, it kind of just pisses you off. You want to throw like $5 in the water, you know? And so it's double, which sucks. I shouldn't worry about the balls and, but I can't help it. I'm like, $4. I'm like, God, and it's brand new. So that pisses me off. No, I shot like 45 on the front, but then I was one over on the back. Back I had bogeyed 10 and bogeyed 14. But what I did well, which is tough, though, finishing holes at English turn are brutal. And 15's not bad. The island green hole, I parred that. Parred 16, which I rarely do. Birdied 17 and parred 18, which I rarely do. So no, 37 on the back, but a 45. So a lousy 82. It would have been a good 82 if if both sides were kind of, I guess, no, not really. I wouldn't have been happy with 41. So no, 82 is not good. Anyway, it's all relative. 766 9480. The scratch golfers want to be +3, I want to be a 5 handicap, and I'm probably like a 12 or something like that. 766 9480. No one cares. 766 9480. Boy, a lot going on. I often talk about this mayoral race and how folks aren't really the three major candidates. They're not talking about any issues outside of like the ones that you'd run for in any major city. Education, crime, infrastructure, and economy. I mean, they're personalized things in New Orleans, like, retention ponds or lack of tree canopy. We saw a Times-Picayune article on that last week, a couple of articles. Clean up trash and litter. These things don't sizzle. You're not throwing bacon on a hot skillet, but they're long overdue and the quality of life would increase. And one I talk about all the time, reimagining Bourbon Street. Because if you did, you probably wouldn't have 1 dead and 3 injured at 2:20 on a Sunday night, Sunday morning, late Saturday night, whatever you want to call 2:20 a.m. Sunday morning. I just hate saying Sunday morning, even when you say 2:20 a.m., because you kind of think like Sunday morning, you think Sunday. And when I think Sunday, it's like a slower day. It's a calm down day. It's not a party day. It's a church day, kind of that kind of stuff. If you go to church, you're not. But Saturday night is the opposite of Sunday. Saturday night is party. So 2:20 in the morning is late Saturday night. Anyway, yeah, you wouldn't have 1 dead and 3 injured in a shooting. They've got photos now out of the shooter. So it should just be a matter of time before that person's caught. No, reimagine Bourbon Street. Because right now, seriously, I say this all the time. It's like beating a dead horse. There's a reason we locals don't go down there. Because it sucks. It's a friggin' toilet. There's a reason we don't go down there, because it's awful. No, could you imagine like jazz clubs and cafes, outdoor seating, lit up, police presence, connecting to Royal Street, where Royal Street's lit up too? It'd only get bigger and better. And then where we'd want to go, where regular citizens would want to go. Not Jimmy and Sally pulling up, parking on the outskirts of the quarter, walking to Bourbon Street, buying a couple of daiquiris, walking up and down the block for a few hours, getting in the truck and leaving. Sally contributed $18 to the local economy. Jimmy contributed a whopping $23. It's not worth it. You got $39 out of that couple. It's just not worth it. It's the wrong demographic. And I'm talking about economically. We need 10 times, 100 times that budget. People at 10 at night, midnight. I bought an armoire for 10 grand on Royal Street. They're shipping it to my home. Things like that. No, Bourbon Street should be like where we want to go. Make it to where we want to go. I don't want a big ass beer. I don't want to go to some trinket shop and buy a t-shirt with just a bunch of profanity on it. It's not even funny or creative or smart. It's just stupid. Masks for Mardi Gras that no one would buy. Just crap. Don't even fit on your face. It's supposed to be art to hang somewhere. It's terrible. It's just garbage. I don't want to go to the strip joint, Rick's or whatever the strip joints are down there, Hustler Club. I don't want to go to another daiquiri shop. We got enough of those. No, the Bourbon Street is a disaster. It stinks. There's no money being generated. It's all cash. It's all cash. And if you think those strip joints, daiquiri shops, all that are paying their fair share of taxes to the city, you're delusional. You bring it up a couple of notches and make it a place where we'd want to go, the locals, and then the tourists are going to flock there, and the money being spent is going to go way up, and it's going to be on credit cards, and we're going to get every dime of it. No, the prostitution, the drugs. Bourbon Street sucks. It's awful. I never recommend anyone that comes here to go to Bourbon Street. You know what I tell them? Go walk down at like 4 p.m. or one night on your way to your hotel. Just walk through there. Don't stop at any particular place and go get a beer or daiquiri. There's no need to. You're not gaining any cultural experience, none of it. Bourbon Street's terrible. No, like I say, there's a reason we don't go down there. It sucks. So, no, these mayoral candidates, I think there's not a lot of visionary type stuff. And, it's just like all about making things normal in the city. And I'm all for that. But when you make things normal, like the I-10 in New Orleans East, it was bumpy. Now we pave it and it's nice. No one from out of town comes in and goes, oh my God, the I-10 in New Orleans East, it's so smooth. People from out of town expect it to be smooth. That's normal. We ride on it. We're like, boy, what an improvement. It's supposed to be that way. You don't get a 5-star review or a pat on the back for that. It's normal. These are my new specs from Art and Eyes on Magazine. Picked them up last week. You can get some great glasses that are unique. No one else has them. You won't see other people wearing them. Designer-driven eyewear. Some of the best in the world. Right here in New Orleans. Before you go fill those prescription glasses at some mall shop or national chain store, if you're looking for a great pair of sunglasses, don't buy them online. Touch, feel, and see the quality. Google them. Art and Eyes on Magazine. 7 days a week, open late. I love these guys. Art and Eyes on Magazine. Google them. What's that, Blue Boy? You think vision in your left eye is a little down? You need some specs from Art and Eyes? We'll see. Coming right back.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Isn't it time to have that dream backyard you've always wanted? LGD Lawn and Landscapes can make it happen with artificial turf installation. Synthetic turf gives you the look and feel of natural grass. You get a beautiful lawn without the ongoing expenses of maintenance and no puddles, meaning you won't be tracking grass or dirt into the house. Let LGD come to your house and give you a free estimate. NOLALGD.com.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's called more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Yeah, you right. 5 o'clock power hour on a Monday. Thanks so much for joining us. Corey Johnson back at you. Thank you for joining us on the radio. Thanks for watching us on television. Thanks for checking us out on YouTube. Thanks for checking us out on Twitter. Checking us out on X. At Corey Johnson on X. Follow us and check us out live. Thanks again. 766-9480 is the phone number to dial us up. 766-9480. Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latin X at the controls. 766-9480. A week from Saturday, mayoral election in New Orleans. 1 week from Saturday. Helena Moreno, I still think nothing's changed. 50-50 chance she wins in the primary. 50-50, which means 50-50 chance there's a runoff. And right now it would be Helena Moreno and Oliver Thomas. We'll see if Royce Duplessis can make up some ground. A week from Saturday, New Orleans may have a new mayor a week from Saturday. At the very least, it'll be down to 2. And thank goodness, come January, Junket Cantrell. Adios, hasta la vista. Don't let the door hit you on the back end. Hope to never see you again. Have a good life. Hope to never see you ever again. What a disgrace. What an embarrassment. You know, New Orleans is like a 4-13 NFL team. We need help. We need a real coach that's focused and knows how to win. Not some coach that's, they're 4-13. I'll act like I'm 4-13. Hell, I'll act like I'm 3-14. 2-15. Just hard to do worse than New Orleans when it comes to politics and business and economy. And Junket Cantrell has lowered the bar even more. Mind blowing. No, just pretty much absolutely worthless. Pretty much. Like any positives I think of, the glaring negatives outweigh them. Like it's not just spinning the wheels and burning fuel. She's going backwards. So no, January can't come quick enough. Thank God. Seriously, we're free at last. Donald Trump hosting Netanyahu at the White House. They say they've worked out a peace agreement. All they need now is Hamas to agree. Yeah, they're the other side. So yeah, that would be important. J.D. Vance says the U.S. looking at selling Ukraine Tomahawk missiles. That's huge. It's about time, United States, this half-ass effort supplying weapons to Ukraine, give them everything they need to defend themselves, to knock down, intercept the Russian offensive weapons, and give Ukraine offensive weapons so they can knock out Russia's oil and gas infrastructure, refineries, pipelines, port facilities, anything and everything to do with Russia's oil and gas infrastructure. I think that makes up like 20% of Russia's economy, like 20%. They're the world's largest gas station run by the mafia, run by the mob. That's Russia. They're not a country. So destroy the gas station, destroy Russia, destroy Putin, end the war quickly. Now, there'd be an uprising of the Russian people. Putin would have to go in hiding, like a guy that you're like, he's never leaving. That was in Syria. That was the Syrian situation, never leaving. Putin will be running to some, hideaway. He's a billionaire. He'll go retire, call it a day. There are already rumors he's got health issues. So no, put the pressure on. Ramp up the pressure already. No, you cripple Russia's already hurting oil and gas infrastructure, and you end the war quickly. Speaking of oil and gas, drone footage of Smitty's supply. When things are just kind of humming along, it's easy to make political, statements, promises like we're going to make DEQ more, business friendly, like Jeff Landry said and did. It points that Ohio State rowing team lady is the head of DEQ. She's gone now. She weakened DEQ. The first thing she said, Louisiana DEQ already weak, already run by the oil and gas and chemical industry. Who in Louisiana doubts that? Jeff Landry comes in and is like, man, it's too restrictive. We need to open it up and free up the economy. Like Louisiana's DEQ is restricting any oil or gas or chemical industry from doing whatever the hell they want. They own DEQ. DEQ is not a Louisiana, regulatory agency. It's a friend of the oil and gas and chemical industry at the expense of our health. And then the feds, the EPA, Donald Trump weakened that. And everybody's like happy, like, oh, it's too restrictive. Let's open up the economy. Well, this is the result indirectly. Louisiana DEQ, feds, EPA, probably not following regulatory procedure and probably not following up on Smitty's. Like, are they following everything they're supposed to follow? And then Smitty's like anyone. I'm not blaming Smitty's, but if people aren't coming in every week, every month, however often DEQ is supposed to come in there, then they're going to cut corners. It's inevitable to save money. That's why you need regulations like a stop sign or traffic light. Otherwise, you'll have an accident. Don't need over-regulation. Don't need a stop sign, red light every corner. Then you stop the economy. But there needs to be a balance. It's not about liberal or conservative or Democrat or Republican. It's like the Department of Defense. I want military people, generals. I want them running it. EPA, I want environmentalists running it. It's the Environmental Protection Agency. Otherwise, dismantle it. Don't change it into something else. And DEQ in Louisiana, weakening something that's already pathetically weak. It's like the ethics board. Who here thinks the ethics board does anything legitimate in Louisiana? They don't even talk the talk, much less, bark, no bite. No, they don't even talk, much less do anything. They don't bark, much less bite. So no one's taking them seriously, and the governor weakens the ethics board in Louisiana. Already working for the politicians. Now it's weaker? No, so now you have the poop hitting the fan, and people in Tangipahoa Parish all of a sudden are concerned. A lot of those folks are probably like, yeah, free up DEQ. It's about the economy. Free up the EPA. It's about the economy. Landry and Trump are right. Now they're saying they're not so right. It's easy when things are running smoothly to, hey, let's throw some hot bacon on this sizzling skillet. But when the crap hits the fan, Smitty's supply, man, Tangipahoa Parish has chemicals, oil and gas, chemicals all over that parish, like 5 miles beyond the Smitty's explosion. Tangipahoa River filled with petroleum products. It's pathetic. fish kills, throw in, wildlife and farm animals, vegetation on farms, all getting coated in this crap. And Louisiana's Department of Environmental Quality and the feds, the EPA, not doing nearly enough to combat it, hoping that it rains a lot. Thank God it hasn't been raining here. Think if it's rained a lot, this would all be, watered down and seeped into the land, and the rivers would be flowing faster and it'd be flowing into other waterways. No, thank God we're in almost a drought-like situation. It exposes what's there, not what we're going to hide and hope it goes away visually, scent-wise, but causing cancer for everybody later. No, the Smitty supply thing's a nightmare, and a weak EPA and a weak DEQ locally, not helping. Gunman in a truck, slams into a Michigan church, opens fire, kills at least 4, injures 8. Insane. Right away, the left saying he's a wacky right-winger, the wacky right-winger saying he's a lunatic leftist, just pathetic. This guy apparently ends up being a big MAGA guy, big Trump guy. Anyone with MAGA or Trump saying that's one of your guys? Obviously not. And I'm not a MAGA person, and I'm not a loony leftist woke person, but I don't, just because of like the political ideology, Charlie Kirk's murder, I don't think that's some leftist Antifa, somebody that organized for the group. I think that's some lunatic that happened to fall on the left side. And this guy who slams the truck into the church, some lunatic that happens to fall on the MAGA side. And I don't think that's a MAGA guy. I think that's a lunatic. That the incidental is he voted for Trump or likes Trump or had a Trump sign in front of his yard. I don't look at that guy and go, there you go, your typical Trump supporter. And I don't look at the guy who shot Charlie Kirk and say, yeah, you're typical liberal, your typical Democrat supporter. I don't know why people want to connect people that are irrational, illogical, have literally lost their minds. They just shot and killed a bunch of other human beings. We don't do that because we know it's wrong and we haven't lost our minds. But you want to label it like a loony leftist or a wacky right winger. If you liberals today are feeling better because the church shooter's a MAGA guy or says he is, I don't care what he says he is. He's a crazy person, so I don't care about these labels. Crazy, that's it. There's your label, crazy person. Speaking of a shooting, Bourbon Street shooting, 1 dead, 3 injured. That was 2:20, late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. They do have video of those guys now, facial recognition. Hopefully they find them. Audubon gutters. Boy, I hear a lot of stuff about gutter systems to keep leaves out of your gutter. Audubon gutters features the leaf guard system. Get it and forget it. Audubon Gutters is locally owned and operated. They've been at it for 35 years. All they do are gutters. If you need gutters in Metro New Orleans for your home or business, AudubonGutters.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spot. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spot.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
New Orleans talk giant Corey Johnson on the neutral ground.
I'll have the entire city of New Orleans in the palm of my hand.
In Metro New Orleans on 93.9 FM and 107.9 FM. Also from Baton Rouge to Pensacola, Florida on 600 AM and 1560.
Yeah, you right. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. 5 o'clock power hour on a Monday. Corey Johnson with you. Fire in a call, comment, question, anything you like. Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx at the controls. Right now, he's literally hugging a photo. It's a framed photo of Coach O. He's kissing the outside of the frame. He loves Coach O.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. Hell yeah. Tell the truth Tuesday. Oh, wait, I'm not coaching a bunch of 8th graders. I'm a college coach. I forgot. Going to get rid of these silly things. Tell the truth Tuesday. Oh, boy. LSU, just disappointing. We'll visit with Brett Martell in a few minutes. Another Martell Monday. Tulane wins big on the road at Tulsa in their conference opener. Yeah, just jump on the Tulane bandwagon. Someone on Twitter said that. Hey, LSU Saints fans, jump on the Tulane bandwagon. We got room. We're winning. Mario, how about just LSU and Ole Miss just flip-flopping? LSU going into the game was 4th ranked. Ole Miss was 13th ranked. Ole Miss upsets LSU. Not really upset. They were favored by 1.5 at home. And now Ole Miss is 4th and LSU's 13th. They just flipped them in the polls. Flip-flop.
That's how it goes, I guess.
Yeah, that's how it goes when you get beat by the Rebels in Oxford and your offense is anemic, when your offense is broken, when you've got so many skill players. Do you know how many college teams in America would cut off their left arm to have the talent on LSU's offense? I mean, are you kidding me? LSU has players on offense, starters and backups, that outnumber teams' entire starting offense in college. They're like, damn, every player's better. Every backup player on their offense is better than our starters. And our offense is not as anemic, as broken as this. No, it's amazing. You know, the Jaden Daniels Heisman winning season. You have a defense that's half as good as that offense. LSU's in the playoffs and vying for a national title. This year, if the offense is half as good as LSU's defense this year, they're in the playoffs vying for a national title. The only thing I can say is there's 7 games left, a lot of SEC action in front of LSU. If all of a sudden they go like 4-0 over the next month after this bye week, we'll be singing a whole different song. But there's nothing right now. I mean, Southeastern and then Ole Miss with Ole Miss's defense, you figured this is the perfect elixir to get Nussmeier and the LSU offense in gear, and the opposite happens. So unless something goes down in the next month, Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx, and I'm talking like 4-0 winning, people are going to be pissed. And here's another thing. Kelly isn't going anywhere.
Nah.
Kelly could go like 8-4, and he's not getting fired. And that's kind of a problem. It's year 4 already. The goal is by year 4, you're in the playoffs. You got a team that's a national title contender. You're a top 5 team in America. And maybe LSU can get there again if the offense gets going, but not right now it's not.
Yeah, I think the only way they'll let go of Kelly and pay the massive buyout, whatever it is if they identify a guy that they could get that the fan base would accept. They would pay the buyout and then bring in
that really seems like a sure bet as well.
Yeah, that they'd have to have a guy, just like when they fired Coach O. It was during the season. They told him you could finish the season or not, but we have a guy in mind. He's going to replace you. That would be how they execute that.
Well, who was the guy in mind?
Brian Kelly.
It wasn't
Yeah.
Jimbo Fisher?
Maybe the first time. But that's a
Yeah,
different
exactly.
story.
Yeah, well, Saban was the second choice.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Those are always like they interviewed what's his name, Steve Spurrier back in the day too. Like there are so many.
Oh,
what
wait,
ifs.
no, I had the Spurrier story. I mean, it's a great story. This is a fact. This isn't me making it up or reading it somewhere. I interviewed Steve Spurrier in the parking lot. I think we're in Fairhope, Alabama at that venue, if I'm not mistaken. You know, it was the Senior Bowl. And Spurrier was about to become the Washington Redskins head coach. I could go find the tape. I got it on a cassette tape somewhere at my house, seriously. And so this is 25 years ago, more than that, late 90s. And I asked Spurrier in the parking lot, I'm like, yeah, coach, you think you're running fun gun, whatever the hell it's called in Florida, you think that offense is going to work with DC? He's like, worked in Florida, worked in the USFL. I don't know why I won't work in the NFL. You know, I'm like, all right. And asked Spurrier about the LSU job. And he literally tells me this story. I have it on tape. He goes, you know, I was very interested in that job. I was at Duke and I would have taken that LSU job. And the alumni and the people I'm talking to in Power are like, it's your job, you know? And I go to Baton Rouge. I'm visiting in Baton Rouge with them as the Duke head coach. They take me to Rouge Chris Steakhouse right there on the interstate. And I walk in there, and as we're walking on the table, former Browns head coach Sam Ritugliano is in the corner with a bunch of alumni, and they're courting him. Same restaurant. So Spurrier's like, wow, I got the job, and here's a bunch of other LSU alum boosters that are with Sam Ritugliano, the former Browns head coach. And Spurrier's like, obviously I don't have the job, and I'm getting, you know, double talk. I mean, he told me all this. It was unbelievable. So LSU, by just the boosters and alums, bringing in Sam Ritugliano the same time Spurrier's in town, and you go to the same restaurant, that pretty much ended it for Spurrier.
Man.
Coupled with Arnsbarger leaves LSU, recommends LSU promote defensive coordinator Mike Archer to head coach, goes to Florida as AD and hires Spurrier from Duke.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Arnsbarger is head coach at LSU after 3 seasons. He was old by this time. You know, he's Dolphins defense coordinator with the undefeated team a decade earlier in the 70s. So he's getting up in age, long in the tooth, as Jim Finks would say. So he's calling it a day. I'm going to go to Florida. I get this AD gig, you know, easy job, a cush job compared to coaching. Tells LSU to promote Archer, goes to Florida and hires Spurrier from Duke. The rest is history. LSU had like about a 15-game lead in that Florida series at that point. And I want to say Spurrier, I think he was at Florida for like 12 to 15 years. He was like 12-1, 13-1 against LSU. He like evened up the damn series all by himself. You know?
That one time they beat him.
Oh, yeah, the 28-21.
Yeah, that's like etched in LSU history.
That was a DiNardo game, huh? Like 98 Kevin Falk and Herb Tyler and Booger McFarland.
That was a big deal.
Yeah, that was a really big deal. Would you watch that on YouTube, youngster?
Yeah, I did, actually.
It was a big deal.
That's part of LSU history, man.
You and your diaper pooping.
But other than that, Spurrier totally owned us, much like Saban.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Saban, you know, who didn't Saban own? And who didn't Spurrier own? I was talking about something I posted on Twitter about the Joe Montana. They had a story about Montana that he'd go to the sideline, the phone where you can talk to the coordinator or coach up in the booth. And when he grabs the phone, it's like during a game, he hits 9 and there's a dial tone. So he calls home and his wife answers, goes, "Where are you?" He's like, "On the sideline. Just want to tell you, I love you." She's like, "You're crazy. It's during the game." So it's Joe Cool Montana. There's a story when in the Super Bowl against the Bengals where they're down, final drive, everybody's in the huddle. He's like, "Hey, look, it's John Candy." And John Candy's on the sideline. And all the players look, and it's Montana pointing at John Candy. He's like, "Dude, there's 2 minutes left, $1:45. We're down by 5. Got 80 yards to go. You think you want to focus on the game?" Just Montana was so cool and knew what he was going to do. So anyway, I just posted, Joe Cool Montana. I was like, if you don't have him in your top 5 greatest NFL players, then you haven't watched the NFL and you just don't know. 4 Super Bowl rings, just almost took Kansas City this close. They were in the AFC title game at KC, and KC really didn't have the team, and he almost got him to the bowl with them. Guy was sick. Anyway, I morphed into the Jim Mora, Jim Finks era. If they're not in that, division with them, they're probably winning playoffs games and maybe going to a Super Bowl, hosting playoff games and stuff, But that was the greatest dynasty in NFL history at that point. Saints happened to be in that division against Joe Montana and the Niners, then Steve Young. It just didn't stop. But, Montana was in town. I was doing my sports talk show, and Montana came in studio, and I did a one-on-one with him for like 20 minutes, and he said, those games in the Dome, the most physical, debilitating games I ever played in an NFL. He's like, the Dome turf was hard, the Dome patrol linebacking crew, and just Wilkes and Warren on the D-line, and just the great defenses of, Steve Sidwell and Jim Moore. He's like, those were the most, it took me a few days to recover from those games. They beat the crap out of me physically. It's just good to hear that kind of stuff,
That's awesome.
Yeah, pretty cool.
That's probably how opposing defenses talk about like playing Breeze and Peyton too in their heyday in the stadium.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It had to just be a friggin' nightmare.
Yeah.
Breeze is, when you think about Breeze is 6 feet at the most. 6 feet. I remember like Peyton and Breeze playing when it was with the Colts, and Peyton's entire head, like his chin was at top of Breeze's head. Peyton's chin. Peyton's probably 6 inches taller than Breeze, like not 4, not 3, like 6. And Breeze at best, I remember checking out Michael Vick. Breeze and Michael Vick were like twins, like 6 feet, like 205. Very little body fat, muscular, no fat, but 6 feet, 205. Peyton Manning's 6'6", 240, or something like Roethlisberger's 6'6", 260. So, for Breeze to do what he did, it makes it even better. If Breeze was 6'4", 220, that'd be great. He'd still be one of the greatest ever. But the fact that he's 6 feet, 205 per pound, I think Barry Sanders is probably the greatest player ever per inch per pound. Breeze is number 2 to Barry Sanders.
Quarterback, he probably is best pound for pound.
Oh, pound for pound, he's the greatest quarterback ever. He's better than Fran Tarkington.
He had some good small ones throughout history, like Flutie.
Oh, yeah,
really
Flutie's 5'9".
Yeah.
But Flutie didn't have like Breeze success.
Yeah.
And Fran Tarkington kind of did. He went to 4 Super Bowls, but didn't win any. So maybe Fran Tarkington, Breeze. Steve Young wasn't, but Steve Young was probably 6'2".
Yeah, Steve Young's in the conversation too, for sure. But the thing about Breeze that makes him such a first ballot is he has the stats and the hardware. Like he won the championship to validate it, and he has this long sample size.
MVP, all that of the Super Bowl.
Records on records.
Yeah, no, he's second behind Brady on a bunch of crap. He leads the NFL in a bunch of stuff. Yeah. No doubt. The first ballot. Otherwise, it'd be a travesty.
Man, I got to make that trip to Canton when he gets inducted.
Hey, Lebanon's Cafe is open till 9:30 tonight. They're open right now. They open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 9:30 straight through. Go enjoy some lamb chops, shish kebab, all your favorite Middle Eastern sides.
Auto, home, flood, business, 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, insagency.com. Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business, 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, insagency.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe. Artificial turf custom golf putting green. Beautiful, functional, zero maintenance. Call New Orleans' own LGD Lawn and Landscapes and get your free estimate.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Here's New Orleans native son, Corey Johnson.
Native son, great New Orleanian. No, that's me.
In Metro New Orleans on 93.9 FM and 107.9 FM.
New Orleans native son. No, that's me. That's me, lady. Yeah, you right. Hey, Mario Brothers, you like this? Some breaking news. The Superdome's going to host college football's national championship game in 2028. Vegas received the 27 game, New Orleans 28, going to Tampa in 29. That's a little weird. And then Miami in 30, staying in Florida 2 years in a row. Vegas in 27, New Orleans, Caesars Superdome, college football's national championship game in 28, plus the Sugar Bowl, which could be like a quarterfinal game. And then a week later, you're playing for the national title in the Dome. It's about time, NCAA.
That's awesome.
Last time that happened, I think 2019 when LSU won it all.
LSU has good luck when that happens.
Yeah.
03,
Yeah.
07,
Yep.
19. I don't think it was here in 15.
Yep.
So the last few times that's happened.
And the 12 game, where was that? The 21 zip loss.
That was in New Orleans.
That was too?
Yeah.
Yikes.
That was in New Orleans too.
Yeah. If you only would have. Was it Matt Flynn was the second?
Matt Flynn was the first one. The second time there was Jefferson.
Yeah, I know, but who was the backup to Jefferson? Who was the starter for a while? Jarrett Lee.
Yeah.
Jarrett Lee's like 7-0. He's like all SEC. He's killing. He's like an All-American.
Mm-hmm.
Stumbles against what? Was it Alabama? They stumbled. And then Jefferson came in and they won the game against Alabama and then Jefferson never, but the offense was sort of anemic. I just thought you start Jarrett Lee just because Alabama's expecting, Jefferson.
We just spent so much time defending Les Miles' legacy, which is valid, but the fact that they made zero adjustments
None.
that first time they played
And-
Alabama to the championship
They
game.
didn't cross the 50, did they, in the game?
Zero. Like that first game, no, not till the second half. Like you just described, Lee was struggling. They put in Jefferson, different look. He started running an
Lee
option
struggled
stuff.
in one game. He was all SEC for the previous. He was like 7-0, 8-0 with him.
My point is, Jefferson played okay that first time against Bama. Like he had like a few first.
No, he
downs.
did, and he helped with the win. Would they win
Yes.
like 9-6?
Exactly, but they only scored 9 points. LSU ran the same exact game plan the second time they played and made no adjustments.
None.
Bama adjusted, and you saw.
No, you want to know when I knew it was bad? You script those first 15 plays. Alabama's opening drive, they went up 7-0. All those plays worked. There wasn't like a play that did not work. I was like, damn, every damn one of their scripted plays worked. 7-0. I'm like, this isn't good.
Yeah, dude.
And then LSU goes like 3 and out. I'm like, not good.
One coaching staff was much superior to the other that day.
Oh, come on. It's not even close. I mean, but Miles always made it interesting, and Miles had winning teams, and folks like Brian Kelly reminds me of Les Miles. I'm like, you LSU fans are delusional.
Hey man, to that point,
Brian Kelly's, Les Miles' team goes to Oxford and wins that game at Ole Miss. Without a doubt.
Going into that game, Les had a winning record against Saban. He was 3-2. Had LSU won that game, that'd be 2 championships post Saban and a 4-2 record against them. But
Yep.
They lost, and then they lost the next
those
7.
those Mettenberger losses were brutal.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, he had great games his junior year and an even better one his senior year, especially his senior year. LSU should have won that Alabama game and played for a national title. It's just disheartening,
I
man.
called that game. I'll never
Sickening,
forget.
man. That it's Alabama's like, man, we're just waiting to use this little pass out in this flat because they're not prepared for it. I almost thinking about it right now, I'm nauseated.
Yeah, my heart sank when Yeldon crossed the goal line, man.
Yeah, sickening.
I'll never forget
Sickening.
how hyped that stadium was and
No,
how
and just
deflated.
it's like finally looks like getting a win against Saban and then just blowing it.
You knew Alabama had a dynasty after that.
Oh
a
no, sick.
dynasty.
Yep.
Like they're gonna win multiple championships.
Yep.
And they
Yep.
did.
Yep. No, Les Miles is like 3 wins away from literally being one of the greatest college football coaches in the history of the game. 3 wins, he gets, he plays in 2 more national title games. A week from Saturday, the mayoral election here in New Orleans. Trump hosts Netanyahu at the White House, and they say have a peace deal, but it isn't the United States and Israel. It's Israel and Hamas. We'll see what happens. J.D. Vance says the U.S. looking at giving Ukraine Tomahawk missiles. Should have done that during the Joe Biden administration. Strike Russian oil and gas infrastructure, refineries, pipelines, port facilities. Speaking of drone footage of the Smitty supply explosion and fire, crazy. When the poop isn't hitting the fan, it's easy to say political things that sizzle, throwing bacon on a hot skillet. Hey, we're going to, make the EPA more economically friendly. We're going to make DEQ here in Louisiana more, friendly to the oil and gas and chemical industry, which is a joke. Oil and gas and chemical industry owns Louisiana DEQ. But now there's poop hitting the fan, an explosion at a major depot, and a weak DEQ and EPA is concerning, isn't it, Tangipahoa Parish residents? You deserve better. A gunman in a truck smashes into a Michigan church, opens fire, kills at least 4, injures 8. Bourbon Street shooting, late Saturday night, early Sunday morning, 1 dead, 3 injured. Time to reimagine Bourbon Street. Yeah, I told you, a full slate, 5 o'clock powwow. Well, let's shift gears. It's Monday. It's a Martell Monday. Brett Martell joins us. He's with the Associated Press, has been for nearly 30 years. What up, Brett?
Well, I kind of feel guilty interrupting those other topics with something as trivial as sports.
I don't. I can
good news.
I can decompress, Brett, and not have to talk about that stressful stuff and talk about, sports is like I'm talking about movie review or something. It's luxury. It's not life, changing necessarily. It's not do or die,
Yeah, I guess so. Although sometimes as Saints fans, they seem pretty apoplectic after a loss. This last one wasn't quite as bad though, because everyone knew they were playing a good team on the road, and they played a much more competitive game. They still lost though.
No, they
They're
did.
the only winless team. They're the only winless team in the NFC.
Wow.
Right? And they'll be one of 3 winless teams in the league after tonight. You have 2 winless teams playing Monday Night Football. Dolphins, Jets.
But another double header too. The NFL, man, it's crazy. I just play one Monday night game. Saints are favored against the Giants this week, though, right, Brett?
I haven't looked at the latest lines, but I don't see why not. They are at home. They did play better. They definitely figured some stuff out in the run game. They kind of switched up their scheme back to more of the outside zone runs that they feel like they're best at. And they ran the ball 30 times and averaged about, I want to say 5.6 yards a carry, maybe. It was the first time that they had run the ball that well on the road and lost since at Dallas in 1984.
I thought the Saints played a pretty good game. I think Rattler, that was his best game yet. I just don't think there are a lot of horses in that stable, Brett. That's the problem. I mean, look at Buffalo, just a bunch of playmakers, a bunch of star players that you know by name. And the Saints, it's like, this is your roster and you can't name half the players almost. It's a lot of, young players. I mean, that the safety from Virginia looked really, really good. And it's older players. Cam Jordan gets a sack. Those guys old players have to play like they're young. The young players have to play like they're old. And every week, and the Saints can't make any mistakes. And then they have a chance. But I thought they played pretty well yesterday.
Yeah. And the few players that they do have in their prime have to be able to catch the ball for an interception in opposing territory when it's thrown directly at them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Olave with a key drop. No, you can't drop a ball hitting you in the hands.
He needs to do better. Olave, he did have a touchdown catch. He's still one of the best receivers in the team, but he arguably can be doing better than he has been. Now he's coming back from some concussion issues, and it's understandable psychologically. He may not be quite at his peak right now. May take a few more games for him. And then, but Anderson is a player in his prime who is doing pretty well. Has 4.5 sacks now to lead the team. I think Cam Jordan, having to sub in as a starter for Chase Young, as long as he's been in the league and as old as he is probably doing better than would have been expected.
Brett Martell's with us from the Associated Press. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday. Still hot out there. Still need air conditioning. It's a scorcher. We're like in a drought. It's parched out there. If you're in New Orleans and need air conditioning help, think Total Maintenance. Fair and honest. Lucas and the boys, over 30 techs, over 30 trucks. They diagnose it right away the first time because they have hundreds of years of air conditioning experience. And they come right away with a sense of urgency because your AC is not working right. If you need air conditioning help in New Orleans or Baton Rouge, think Total Maintenance, tm-ac.com. Hey, Brett, overall, I mean, I don't think Rattler is like, if Rattler was great, they might have won yesterday, but I don't think Rattler's the reason they lost. I think Rattler is getting more comfortable. He seems to have a grasp of the offense. He runs it pretty smoothly. He needs to work on timing and completing some passes that he underthrows or overthrows, not hitting the target. But essentially, it's like a rookie plus. It's like 6/8 start, something like that. I don't know what the expectations are for Rattler by the fan base, but I don't think he's the problem. I just don't see a lot of star players. There's no position where it's a strength on this team. So it's just going to be a long season. But I like what I saw yesterday because I'm not concerned about the record. I've resigned to like a 4-win season, but I want to see, effort, progress being made, limiting mistakes, and not getting out coached. And I saw that in Buffalo yesterday.
Well, Jake is. I mean, Spencer is clearly clearly a good athlete. You saw him make some nice runs yesterday. I think he's feeling a little more comfortable taking the initiative to do that. The team really needs to extend the drive, and he is improving week after week. So, he hasn't knocked anyone's socks off, but we also don't know what his ceiling is. And frankly, Drew Brees in his second year, and he didn't start as a rookie. In his second season in the league, he got benched 3 times. And then in his third season, he blossomed. So it's kind of in a similar trajectory to Brees, except that Brees was a Heisman Trophy finalist in the top pick in the second round, and Fowler picked in the 5th round.
Yep. Hey, Brett, hold that thought. I'm going to knock out a quick break and come right back. More with Brett Martell.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Isn't it time to have that dream backyard you've always wanted? LGD Lawn and Landscapes can make it happen with artificial turf installation. Synthetic turf gives you the look and feel of natural grass. You get a beautiful lawn without the ongoing expenses of maintenance and no puddles, meaning you won't be tracking grass or dirt into the house. Let LGD come to your house and give you a free estimate. NOLALGD.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe. Some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab. Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
As New Orleans as coffee in the morning and as New Orleans as coffee in the morning and raw oysters for lunch, it's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground.
Corey Johnson back at you, 5 o'clock power hour on a Monday. Hey, every Friday, Michael Heck joins us from Greater New Orleans Inc., and that segment's always brought to you by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant over in Elmwood. 1,400 plus employees on now a campus that spans over 100 acres in Elmwood under the UEP Long Bridge. They also have an I-12 facility for you North Shore folks. For a full listing of positions available, get a great job, a career at Latrim. Go to their website, latrim.com. Latrim spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M, latrim.com. Brett, any final thoughts on the Saints before we move on? I just think it's going to be a long year, especially if you have any kind of like win total expectations. I thought the sucker bet was the over at 4.5. I thought the under was the wise choice for gamblers. I have the Saints winning 3 or 4 games by the end of the year. I think they're going to be, another half dozen losses, hopefully like yesterday, where they play a team that's far superior to them, that has a great quarterback, that is a playoff Super Bowl contender, and they play them tough like that. That's all I'm asking for. And I thought Kellen Moore had the team prepared. I think he coaches well, so we'll see.
Yeah, I think the telling thing is going to be how do they do against, especially at home against fellow sub-500 teams. Right now that they've played this pretty decent game at Buffalo, where they didn't commit a lot of errors, they just basically, got outclassed by a team that had Super Bowl aspirations on the road. But they played they could have taken a lead in the fourth quarter, and that's something to be said for that. Now that they've done that, how are they going to do when they come at home and play the Giants, who are 1-3? If they lay an egg there, then you got to be worried. But if they are close to win that game, then you might being more encouraged.
And will a third of the Dome be Giants fans?
Maybe not, because they're 1-3.
Yeah, no, that's probably a blessing.
Come down to see Jackson.
That's a blessing. If they were 2-2 or 3-1, you'd probably have a bunch of Giant fans scooping up cheap tickets online and flying down for a weekend in New Orleans. So no, that's a good point, Brett. We won't be like the Dome a few weeks ago with the Niners.
Right.
Yeah, that's a hell of a good point. They're only 1-3, and the Saints are favored by a point. So maybe that gets fans to the Dome to maybe experience the first win. Boy, LSU, Brett, stars were lined up. You play Southeastern. You got Ole Miss with a mediocre defense. That Ole Miss defense isn't good. And LSU goes to Oxford, and defense plays well. Defense plays well enough to win. Offense doesn't. The opposite. The offense is offensive. It's anemic. It's broken. And Nussmeier's apparently hurt, huh, Brett? I know Kelly didn't have his usual Monday press conference because LSU's off this week, but he'll have one on Wednesday. He says Nussmeier's fine. Nussmeier's not answering questions. I think that means he's hurt. What do you say?
Yeah, I think if a quarterback declines to answer questions about his health, it means he doesn't want to use injuries as an excuse because he's out there playing.
Yep.
But it also means that he doesn't feel like he feels healthy enough to play, but doesn't really feel 100%. Well, the thing is, it wasn't an issue when he was putting up a bunch of yards and points against Southeastern. And I realize that Southeastern is lesser competition, but we're not talking about the competition. We're talking about how he's throwing the ball. And so it's hard to know how much of it was health and how much of it was scheme. I think that the main issue is that it's hard for a quarterback to complete passes and you can't run the ball. And Ole Miss came in with the last ranked run defense in the SEC.
It's unreal.
LSU had some tough breaks on the offensive line. They also had Caden Durham out, but they couldn't really run the ball until maybe their last scoring drive in the fourth quarter. And Ole Miss was dropping 8 the whole game. And it's hard to find completion sometimes when the other team is dropping 8, So
it's hard to get pressure when you're the other team 3 against 6 and they're getting pressure the whole time. I mean, LSU's offensive line is not very good. The running backs have kind of disappeared. I don't know why you're not playing the Barry kid a little more. It's very frustrating if you're an LSU fan. I mean, the door was open for this offense to get on track in Oxford, and the opposite happened. The defense is still carrying this team. They only lost by 5. Ends up being a painful loss for LSU and a huge win for Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss. The margin of error very much shrinks, Brett. I mean, LSU maybe can afford one more conference loss. It'd have to be a tight one. But I don't know if that's good enough to make the playoffs. I mean, they almost have to, if they get one more loss, they'd have to make the SEC title game. I don't know. I don't know how LSU does the rest of the year. I mean, I was talking to Mario Brothers. If they go 4-0 over the next 4 games in a month from now, we'll be singing a different song. But right now, it doesn't look very good with this offense.
Well, based on how the strength of schedule has looked, as Clemson and Florida have stumbled, and based on how they've looked overall so far, it would seem that their margin for error is minuscule, but still exists. So they, their hopes of making the playoffs still exist, but they have to look a lot better, and they have to win a lot of games now in a row. Sometimes teams respond well to games like this, and maybe they will too. Maybe they'll respond well and they'll play better and win. But the offense just didn't adjust well when things weren't going well. And I was at that game in Oxford. I covered it, and this big story for me was nobody had heard 3 weeks ago of this Division II transfer from Ferris State that was starting at quarterback, for Ole Miss, and everyone was talking about Nussmeier in the preseason as a Heisman Trophy hopeful, right? And so we knew all about Garrett Nussmeier because he's a senior in his 4th year at LSU who had sued the NFL draft to come back.
Yep.
And it was the Ole Miss quarterback who had the better game.
Hey, Brett, we got about 30 seconds. I saw a tweet online on Twitter. Hey, Saints fans, LSU fans, we got a lot of room on the train. Jump on the bandwagon. We're ready to have you. Tulane wins big on the road at Tulsa in their conference opener.
Yeah, that was a tough game for them early, and they ran away in the second half and ended up outclassing Tulsa on the road. I think they're going to do very well in the conference, and things are looking up for Tulane. They've just had one really bad loss at Ole Miss, but that's the same team that handled LSU this weekend. So
yep.
The other thing is you may have mentioned a national championship game coming here in 3 seasons.
Yeah, 2028. Vegas in 27, New Orleans in 28, Tampa in 29, Miami 30. No, that's huge, Brett. We need more of that stuff. Might have a Sugar Bowl quarterfinal game and then a national title game. Always a pleasure, Brett. We'll check out your stuff via the AP.
Thanks, Corey. Take care. Great show.
That's Brett Martell. That's Blue Boy barking up a storm. There's Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx, behind the control panel. I'll see you tomorrow, Tuesday, straight up 4 o'clock. Be right here.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.